Hey, howdy, friends. It's Steve DePoe here with the Rose Realty team with this year's version of Christmas Fun Facts for 2023. Hey, this is about the sixth or seventh time we've done Fun Facts. I'm kind of running out of fun facts to talk about, but I'm sure I'll be able to dig up more for next year. So let's get into it. First of all, one big tree. Hey, so the tallest Christmas tree ever erected was 221 feet. It was a Douglas fir and it was displayed in downtown Seattle in 1950. At the time, it cost $19,000. Now, if you figure out cost of living and all of that, inflation between 1950 and today that same tree would cost around $250,000. So that's a lot of tree. Hey, before we continue, hey, please go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com, moving to Dallas. Subscribe and like our channel. That'll kind of put us up in the search rankings, and we'll get more people watching these vlogs and calling the Rose Realty team. So thank you. We really appreciate it, and we really appreciate you. Hey, Mary Benjamin. Hey, did you know that Americans consume around 7,000 calories on Christmas Day? That's like 3 times the recommended daily and the number of calories per person in the United States. Now, this is funny because I mentioned the same thing about Thanksgiving. I think Thanksgiving was what 4,000 or 5,000 calories. I'm really calorie focused right now. I'm trying to lose weight, so I'm really really focusing on all the calories. But the 25th, expect to suck down about 7,000 calories. So get out those stretchy pants, would you? According to Rakuten, now that Rakuten is one of those shopping apps, right? 75% of Americans don't like the presents that they receive for Christmas. So what do they do with them? Well, about 33% regift them sometime later on. About 27% donate them, and about 14% just outright sell them. Okay, so what's the thought that counts, right? Maybe not really. Baby claws. So interesting fact. That in some Latin American countries, the Santa Claus doesn't deliver presents to the kids. It's the baby Jesus himself. So that's sort of interesting. So they don't have the Santa Claus, maybe because Santa Claus is related to kind of snow and stuff like that. Where in the Latin American countries, they don't get as much snow as we do up here up north. And so interesting kind of that the baby Jesus delivers presents and not Santa Claus. Kentucky Fried Chicken. Kentucky Fried Chicken and Christmas Eve in Japan are related. So Kentucky Fried Chicken did like a lot of marketing and a lot of marketing strategy over there in Japan with their stores and stuff. And typically in Japan on Christmas Eve, KFC sets records year over year. So Kentucky Fried Chicken is the food of choice Christmas Eve in Japan. And it must be the Christmas cheer, right? So most babies are born in the United States in September, which is 9 months after the holiday season. Okay, so that's when we tend to be at the happiest and most festive and getting along, the most. And so therefore, bam, more babies are born in September than any other month of the year. And then finally, the opposite of Santa Claus. So German folklore tells us about this creature called Krampus. He's a terrifying alternative to Santa Claus. Krampus is a goat-like figure with hooves, and is said to abduct naughty children and deliver them straight to hell. Here's a picture of what Krampus is supposed to look like. He's kind of a scary dude, isn't he? But in reality, there's been something like 5 movies that have been produced over the years, starting back in like the 1980s, that have depicted Krampus. Okay, so Krampus is the opposite of Santa Claus. And then speaking of comedy versus horror, so Bob Clark is a well-known director. He directed the movie Christmas Story, which we've all know. We've probably all seen A Christmas Story. Can't help but see it on like TBS. It's the one where the kid wants the Red Ryder BB gun for Christmas, right? So it's kind of like an adorable, Christmas movie about this kid wanting this specific gift for Christmas. He also directed a movie called Black Christmas, and it's a gory, violent slasher film. So there you go, two both ends of the same holiday almost, right? So interesting. Next week, New Year's Eve fun facts. Again, that'll be like our 6th or 7th New Year's Eve fun facts coming to you next week. You can use these facts. You can use the Christmas facts at your Christmas table dinner, and the New Year's Eve facts. Maybe you can use them for New Year's Eve to see whether people are able to drive if they know any of these fun facts. This is Steve. I am with the Rose Realty team. I'm gone.